Dear devotees, Hare Krishna. So, we welcome you all in today's session. And today's session will be taken by Her Grace Nila Manjari Mataji. And actually, it was supposed to be taken by Sachidanand Prabhu, but Prabhuji could not join because of he got caught in traffic. So let me give a very brief introduction about Her Grace Ridamanjari Mataji. So she has joined ISKCON in the year 2012 and she was working in the TCS company earlier as a DBA for Apple client, and she met her spiritual master, His Grace Sriman Sankarshan Dasadikari Guru Maharaj in the year 2014 in Vrindavan. She had done various services in ISKCON Noida, like dressing the deity and painting the deities, making garland, giving lectures in ISKCON Giri Forum, Noida. She has also traveled with her spiritual master, Sriman Sankarshan Dasadikari Guru Maharaj, and also Guru Mataji, and along across different cities in India. So we are very grateful and thankful to Mataji and for giving today's session. So Mataji, we are actually reading from the Chant and Be Happy book. So today you can discuss from chapter 3 of the book Chant and Be Happy.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. I know there are so many exalted devotees in the group already, but by the mercy of all your devotees, today I will try to speak something which will do justice to Srila Prabhupada's books, like what we are reading. And please forgive me if I do any mistake and can correct me as well. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. So we will start with a very quick and short kirtan, as we always do before we start some session, in order to invoke all auspiciousness and along with the prayers. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Guru Dev, Jaya Guru Dev. Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Ram Sankirtan ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarine. Hare Krishna. So, it is because of this chanting of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which we just were chanting in the form of Kirtan, that we are all today together in this forum. And it is because of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra that we are seeing this ISKCON society, which is kind of Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, as you all must be knowing, ISKCON stands for International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Srila Prabhupada, when we are reading from the book Chant and Be Happy, and I think you have already covered first 2 or 3 chapters, and we are in the next chapter about how Srila Prabhupada started this Hare Krishna, this chanting in the West. So, we may not go line by line, of course, so we will just discuss little bit from the book. One second. Yes. So, if you have heard how Sri Prabhupada practically how Sri Prabhupada struggled in the very beginning when he was trying to introduce this, when he was trying to start this ISKCON movement or the Hare Krishna movement, which we people know, like people are aware of the Hare Krishna movement. So how he wanted to start it in India itself. He wanted to start it in Jhansi. He started the League of Devotees over there, but it was not very successful because why? Because at that time, even now in India, many people are trying to follow the West because we think that okay, the Western countries are more developed and so on. And similarly, that time also people were trying to follow the West. So when Srila Prabhupada wanted to introduce it here, people did not take it very seriously. However, we can also say that probably it was Krishna's arrangement that Srila Prabhupada ultimately at the age of 69 years, when he was 69 years old, he went to America. How? By cargo ship, on a cargo ship. He was a lone passenger in a cargo ship named Jaladuta, and he suffered from 2 heart attacks. If something happens to us, my hand is cut, or I get a fracture, or something happens. Even if I feel some pain in my chest, we run to the hospital. We put everything aside and run to the hospital. But here is some personality who was on a cargo ship, you know, and the weather in the ocean, it was very, I mean, it was very bad, and he suffered from two heart attacks, but he did not give up. He was not, nobody was forcing him, but he went, he took that risk at the age of 69, which is practically an age when we want to retire from all of our activities. So at that age, he went ahead to America, and yeah, when the second heart attack, when he got the second heart attack, he saw a dream that Krishna was rowing the boat. So it was a kind of indication by the Supreme Personality of Godhead that he is going to take care of everything. And before we go into the chapter, I remembered this Srila Prabhupada, when he arrived in Boston in 1965 in September. So he composed some like he expressed his feelings, his thoughts in the form of this prayers, in which there are few paragraphs that I will read the translation, and one particular statement. Okay, so Sri Prabhupada writes, okay, most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudev. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. So practically, when Srila Prabhupada went there, stepped on American land, he could see how everyone was into materialistic life. Of course, we are also into that materialistic life, because before coming to Krishna consciousness, before being introduced to Krishna consciousness, we were also engaged in all sinful activities. Sinful activities does not mean that you are going and causing harm to someone, or murdering, or doing some crime. Sinful, just by inhaling, just by breathing, just by being alive also, we are killing so many, we are inhaling so many microorganisms and killing them. So even by being alive, we are doing sinful activities. Even by breathing, we are doing sinful activities, and so many sinful activities we do, which we were not aware of before coming to Krishna consciousness. Okay, so we are also counted, we can also be counted into these materialistic people. We are also counted in these materialistic people. So when Srila Prabhupada saw, he couldn't so these were his prayers, that how people were in mode of passion and ignorance. So how I'm going to give this message of the Lord, of the message of the Bhagavad Gita to these people. Then he writes, but I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible, because you are the most expert mystic. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he's the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? O Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy, so that I will be able to convince them about your message. Similarly, he writes so many of the, there are so many other statements, but I will go specifically to this. Uh, Okay. Nachao, nachao, Prabhu, nachao se mate. So the translation goes like, oh Lord, I'm just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance as you like. So this is the level of humility, surrender of Srila Prabhupada, which we see to the Supreme Lord. He's an empowered represent. He's an empowered personality. Okay, so but he's acting, how he's feeling, that okay, I'm just a puppet. I'm just an instrument in your hands, so Lord. So you make me dance. However you want, whatever you want me to do, you just do with me. How you want me to act in this foreign land, to preach your message, you just execute it through me. So, and in the beginning, when Srila Prabhupada went, he had actually struggled a lot. Initially, he was staying in with a family, and practically he had not much contact, and he had just 40 rupees. If you go to a shop nowadays, of course nowadays dollars and rupees, they have different values, but still when we go to a shop or something, we take at least 100 rupees, huh? So but Prabhupada went to America with just 40 rupees in hand, and of course Bhagavatam, and the transcendental literature, he took the transcendental literature, but he had not much contacts. He did not know how he's going to start this movement, because it was the order of his spiritual master in 1922 that when he first met Srila Prabhupada, he said, "Oh, you are a very nice gentleman. Why don't you preach this message in the West?" So, and every time Srila Prabhupada enquired if he could do any service to his spiritual master, to his guru, he always mentioned, preach this message in the West. And finally, Srila Prabhupada was executing. Of course, he was endeavoring to execute, but ultimately, when he came to the West in full-fledged manner, he executed that. And so this chapter goes like, yeah. So went when he first landed in America, it was in the mid of 60s, and actually that time there was kind of cultural turmoil in America. The hippie movement was getting started, in the sense the youth in the American youth, they were rejecting the general culture, and they were looking for something more, something unique, something higher, something better than the regular trend. So, and Krishna's arrangement, it was the same time Srila Prabhupada went to America in 1965. Okay, so fine. Initially, he stayed with the family in Butler, but then he moved to some other places which were favorable for his giving this message or preaching to the people. And ultimately in 26 Second Avenue, there was in this I mean some youth, they helped him to get a small storefront, in a small storefront. It's a very small place, and Sri Prabhupada started his classes and chanting, chanting, and then Bhagavad Gita classes 3 days in a week. It started like that. There's a book also by his disciples, how Shri Prabhupada started this movement that time. So, anyways, coming to the point, of course, in this chapter we see how the struggle that Shri Prabhupada took in the very beginning to preach, not only to preach, but initially he had to, um, in Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita, we will see in details about the life of Srila Prabhupada. So he had to struggle to stay at one place, and then there was a time when he had to stay at one place and go to another place for taking a bath or something. There are some details, and his typewriter or something was stolen. And it was winters. In winters, in America, winters are pretty bad. And he was an old man. It was very difficult in the beginning. In many ways, he struggled, but ultimately, um, as we just saw the prayer, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that, Krishna, make me dance. So Krishna had his own plans, and just by the chanting, no, Srila Prabhupada did not give do's and don'ts or something. It just began with chanting, as this chapter also says. brings the Hare Krishna mantra to the West. So Srila Prabhupada started, the chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting itself, like we do kirtans or chanting. So just kirtan itself, it attracted the public, the youth, the hippies, and they came together and they joined Srila Prabhupada to attend, to join. I mean, they joined him in kirtans and attended classes. Though did not understand the philosophy much, but purity is a force, and Srila Prabhupada's chanting, that was all they knew. I mean, they could know that here is some personality, here is a very gentle personality, and they started calling Srila Prabhupada as Swamiji. And they could see that he had so much love for them, with the Hare Krishna chanting and so on. Now, there is a verse in this connection from Srimad Bhagavatam about the importance, about the power of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. From 12th canto, 3rd chapter, 51st verse. Kale dosha nidhe rajan asti hi eko mahan guna kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sanga param vrajet. So in this, which means Kale dosha nidhi rajan. So this age of Kali, there are 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So this Kali Yuga is full of faults, unlimitedly. I mean, it's the most degraded age of the 4 yugas. But there is one best thing in this age, and what is that? So the way to get liberation in Satya Yuga was meditation, and in Treta Yuga it was by performance of yajna. In Dwapar Yuga by temple worship, deity worship, and in Kali Yuga this the way to get liberated is very simple. Why? Because we are manda buddhi, manda bhagya. There is another verse which says how people in this age are misfortunate and manda buddhi, less intelligent and so on. So for people like us, the process of liberation has been made very simple. What is that? Just by chanting what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just by chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can become free from all the contaminations in this Kali Yuga, and one can go back to Godhead. Of course, we have to chant it purely. So just by chanting purely this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can become free from all the contaminations in this Kali Yuga, and we can go back to the spiritual abode from which we have come from. So and it is by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that we have been introduced. I mean, he has introduced this Hare Krishna Mahamantra to us. Otherwise, we would be loitering on the streets doing some nonsense activities, moving around, roaming around, going to movies or going to shops, malls, and all, and wasting our life practically, like everybody else is doing. But we are so fortunate to have come in contact with this ISKCON movement, with Srila Prabhupada, with our spiritual master, with the devotees, and of course with Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita as it is, a Bhagavad Gita Yatharup, that we are able to practice, we are able to understand the importance of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra and endeavoring to chant. I'm sure everybody in this, whoever is there in this group, are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and at least minimum 16 rounds every day. So, the first shlok of Sikshashtakam says, no, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So by this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all the dirt, all the anarthas, they get cleansed. Anybody who has been chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra for some days, for few months, for a few years, for decades, they can understand, they can realize their consciousness before they had started chanting and how it is after they have taken up the chanting process. And we can see how this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful that when Srila Prabhupada introduced it in the West to those people who never knew about Krishna, in India, okay, somebody may have heard. People even in India, there are people who still think that, oh, Krishna is an ordinary person. He's a Kshatriya. He's a king or whatever. But there are many people who are not even aware that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. So this is the condition in India. So what to say about the West? They never knew what is Vedas. They never knew who is Krishna. But when Srila Prabhupada went single-handedly, he went and introduced this Hare Krishna chanting, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They took up the process. How? Why? Because Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee of the Lord, and he was giving the message of the Lord. He was as a transparent via medium, as a, he was giving the message of the Lord as it is, as we see Bhagavad Gita, Yatharup or Bhagavad Gita as it is. So he was delivering that message as it is. And just like we have a book by our spiritual master, His Grace Sriman Sankarshan Das Adhikari Guru Maharaj, truth works. So when something is truth, it will work for sure. Similarly, when Srila Prabhupada, took this Hare Krishna Mahamantra to the West, it worked. It showed its effect because of his purity, because the purity of Srila Prabhupada and the purity of his chanting, it showed its effect. And very soon, so many people, so many hippies and all, they got attracted. And after quite some time, Srila Prabhupada also initiated, gave the first initiation to the devotees there. And then his disciples, they moved to other places like San Francisco, and they started a temple there. And there was a big concert there in Haight-Ashbury, and it was very successful. The chanting people, though they were all hippies, but they all loved this chanting, Hare Kirtan and everything. So if it can have an effect on them who had no understanding of chanting or no understanding of Krishna, they knew nothing about the Vedas, but still they could take up the process. Why? Because every living entity is a pure spiritual being, part and parcel of Krishna. So in one sense, we are all qualitatively the same. As per our karma, we may be born in American land, Indian land, or African land, or in other species as humans, as animals, birds, whatever. But we are all part and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore, every living entity has that deep inside we are all hankering for Krishna, but we do not know it. We are hankering for the Supreme Personality of Godhead to engage in his service, but we are unaware of it. But when we take up this chanting process, then we can reawaken. If what do you say, if there is dust on the mirror, you have to clean it, otherwise we cannot see our face. Similarly, we are also pure spiritual beings. We are actually hankering for serving Krishna. We are actually hankering for that relationship with the Lord, which we have forgotten right now. But because of forgetfulness, we are looking for our happiness in material things. However, when we take up this chanting process, it acts as a cleansing, cheto darpana marjanam. It cleanses our dirty heart. It cleanses our heart of which is full of anarthas, and gradually we start to reawaken our actual consciousness. What is that actual consciousness? We are all Krishna conscious. We are all pure devotees of the Lord. We are all spiritual beings, but we have forgotten that we are contaminated by this material association. So let us take a vow that Srila Prabhupada has done so much for us at the age of 69, 70, he has taken so much risk for just for us, so that today very easily we can go to ISKCON temple very easily. Right now I'm in Vrindavan, and I can see there's so many pilgrims coming. There's so many people coming to ISKCON temple and doing parikramas in Vrindavan, going to Govardhan. And how is it possible? Everybody's chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They're doing kirtans on the street from Russia, and so from different countries. Devotees are coming from all over the world. Devotees come either to Vrindavan or Mayapur, or to different places, to different dhams in India. And they are all engaged in doing Sankirtan, book distribution. There's so many on the street, Prabhujis and Matajis, they are standing and doing book distribution. And practically, we would have never seen this if Sri Prabhupada had not taken that risk uh, to, go to the West and give this, Hare Krishna movement to us, no? So let us try to reciprocate with that love that Sri Prabhupada has given us in the form of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In one of the Vaishnava songs, Vaishnava bhajans, it's mentioned Golokera Prema Dhana Harinama Sankirtana. So practically, Golokera Premadhana, in the spiritual world, there are different Vaikunthas, innumerable Vaikunthas, and the topmost is Krishna Lok or Golok Vrindavan, where Krishna is in his two-handed Shyam Sundar form, having all his kind of intimate loving exchange with his devotees, actual Vrindavan. So uh, Golokera Prema Dhana Harinama Sankirtana. So that Prema Dhana of Golok, that Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is actually brought to us by the mercy of the disciplic succession, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and now it is being brought to us by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and his sincere followers. So let us all try to reciprocate with him, with Srila Prabhupada, and with all his sincere followers who are preaching, who are putting so much effort to distribute books, to do some programs, to invite people, prasadam distribution, and so many things. Let us try to reciprocate by taking up this process very seriously. We don't know how much time we have in our life. How much time we have in this life. Anything can happen anytime. Just yesterday I heard from one Mataji that some devotees went to Assam or somewhere to do some program. I think five devotees to do some Sankirtan program, some Kirtaniyas. And they all went along with the local devotees and organizers and all to take bath in Brahmaputra river or something, some river, and somehow they were all drowned. And it was a very sad. It was somebody said it was announced in the temple, but I'm not very sure. But yeah, something like that happened. So suddenly anything can happen. So there is no. Everything is uncertain. So why not do something in our life which will stay with us forever? Our bank balance, power, everything will go away uh, at the time of death. Everything will become zero. Only our bhakti will remain with us forever. And whatever time we have in this life, let us reciprocate with that mercy, with that love, and that causeless mercy and love that Srila Prabhupada is giving us, that our spiritual master is giving us by taking so much by pain to Srila Prabhupada traveled all over the world to preach at the advanced age of 70, 69, 70. He went to the West, and then he traveled, I think, 12 years. In 12 years, he traveled the world 14 times or something. I may be wrong in the figures, but yeah, somewhat like that. And so let us try to at least take up this process seriously, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, at least minimum 16 rounds, and follow the four regulative principles. I'm not sure if everybody is aware of it, but the four regulative principles are no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. And uh, offer whatever sattvic food without onion garlic, vegetarian without onion garlic, to Lord Krishna, and then we can accept it as prasadam. These four very basic things, if we do, we can see a drastic change in our consciousness. So let us do these very basic things and make our human life successful. And whenever possible, we should try to give Krishna consciousness to others. Very nice way to do that is, Bhagavad Gita. We can ourselves study Bhagavad Gita, and of course, we are studying these small books, chant and be happy. So we can ourselves study these books and take a hard copy of this book, buy from the temple and give it as a gift, or give to someone who is interested in, who will, I mean, you can benefit them. You can give it as a gift also, and you can give it to someone who is interested, and if they would like to give some donation for it. No, so let us do whatever possible to actually be happy by chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and actually distribute this, give this happiness to others also. Let us give others a chance to become happy by introducing this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to them. No, so with this, I will stop here. I don't know how much time I was supposed to continue, but I'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I request, if anybody has anything to say, any corrections, any additions, any subtractions, or any questions, then you can please unmute yourself and go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for your wonderful class. And you have said so many things. And one thing is that you said that to become serious, that is actually a very nice thing, that we are not becoming serious. So that is why we cannot practice Krishna consciousness in full. So this point is, I like it very much, that we have to become serious, and anything can happen in our life. I mean, you are giving the example that some devotee went to Assam and they died. So we should always remember this, that anything can happen in our life, and practice Krishna consciousness. So, dear devotee, if there is any questions or comment or your feedback, so please give to Mataji. So in this regard, Mataji, I have actually one question. So you were telling that Prabhupada went to America, and there he preached. Even those people were non-devotee. I mean, they were not even new with Krishna. And Prabhupada convinced them to chant 16 round mala every day, and also follow the four principles. So, as we also are sometime actually preaching to the new devotees in our locality or in our place, so how can we convince them that, or maybe can convince them or inspire them that to chant 16 round or follow the four principles? Very, very difficult that we face actually. I also face that. So, can you throw some light on this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for your question, but I think you are more experienced and exalted in this regard. But I will just try to say whatever I can in my level. So recently, in one of Srila Gurudev and Guru Mata's class, I mean either of their classes, what I understood while they were answering to somebody's question is that for a new person, we're not giving them the rules, regulations, but first of all, we have to introduce them, somehow make them chant, somehow make them, convince them to take up chanting. And especially I have seen everybody is very much attracted to kirtans. That's why in any ISKCON program we go, it starts with kirtan. So whether new people or devotees or non-devotees, everybody likes to sing and dance, and kirtans are a best way to attract the new people. And then when they are chanting along with us, doing kirtans and all, by the chanting, that cleansing is happening, though they do not know what is happening, but even they are hearing or chanting by themselves, that cleansing of heart is happening. So with that cleansing, and somehow if they can take up chanting japa also, it will really cleanse their mind, their hearts, and gradually they themselves will inquire, oh, this is very nice, how can I do it much, I mean better way, how can I become chant very nicely and in a better way. And then we can gradually start to give them do's and don'ts. I know a friend of mine, because before coming to Noida, I was in Bangalore, and we had started a base for girls there, and we were 5 to 7 Matajis staying together. So one of those Matajis, I will tell you how she was introduced to Krishna consciousness. When she was a student, or she moved to some hostel or some room, something, she found Bhagavad Gita as it is. Somebody had left it there. So in her room, she found it, and she was very interested, Krishna, something she felt very nice about Krishna. So she started reading, and at the end of Bhagavad Gita, she somehow got a conviction that I must do this chanting and all. So she started chanting. She was taking non-veg, but she started chanting. So she was not so much aware of do's and don'ts. But with the chanting and with reading Bhagavad Gita, gradually she started feeling that she should offer to Krishna and take prasadam. And gradually she gave up non-veg, she gave up onion garlic. She took interest in starting, cooking herself and offering to the Lord, or offering fruits, whatever possible. So it all started with her chanting. The first thing which she did actually was the chanting. Of course, she read from Bhagavad Gita, got introduced to the chanting, the Maha Mantra, and she started chanting. And with that chanting, that cleansing was happening. Though she knew or did not know, that cleansing was happening, and gradually she herself felt that thing, that okay, I should start offering to Krishna. So this is a live example that I can say. And of course, uh, in many cases also we see the example of devotees share their own personal experiences, and how they came to Krishna consciousness, how chanting has improved, I mean how chanting helped them, and gradually they were able to lose taste for material things. So what I would say is, first we introduce the chanting, somehow make them to chant and dance, and feel that the how chanting can actually is so wonderful. It's so something different, something like a transcendental sound. Let them feel a taste for that, and automatically they will come and ask us, how can I improve in that? And then we can gradually give the philosophical aspect. So that is what I would say, Prabhuji. I hope it is doing justice to your question.
Yes,
I
madam. Thank you so much. So very wonderful actually answer that. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it will cleanse our heart. Whether we know or do not know, like when the doctor says that to take the medicine when we take, the patient does not know that how it is working. But if the patient take the medicine to a bona fide doctor, then it will cure his disease. Similarly, you have nicely said that by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it will cleanse our heart, and then gradually, that we will lose the taste for the material things. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So, yeah, I request also, if there are any other questions, so please ask. Any questions, comment?
Um, Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance, Prabhuji. All glories to Śrīla Gurudev, Guru Mata, all glories to Prabhupada, and assembly devotees here. Yes, Mataji, nice to hear your class after a long time. Am I audible, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. And thanks to Prabhuji also arrange the program so that at least we can connect somehow other. And this time is little okay for me, when I come back. So at least by cooking I can hear this class. So again, your classes give me the reminder, how I am just entangled with the all the things unable to practice properly. Just anyhow by Gurudev's and Guru Mata Mercy, I able to do the Mangalalti little, and after that chanting is not that much proper, Mataji. Very just a count I used to जैसे संख्या क्वेश्चन जैसे बोलते हैं ना संख्या 16 हो गया बस is a cube, but I'm not taking that much serious, and so that is what is a reminder for me how I will. And you have given a nice example how the awesome no some situation happened with the devotee. So every time while I'm driving to university also, same every time I'm saying that, okay, my life is anytime my life can go on, but still I'm not prepared for it. But sometimes, Mataji, I'm thinking that okay, yeah, I will try this life whatever I can, but if not, then and there is a guarantee for next life. Like this, I am giving the no excuses because I think if I could remember, and whatever I'm practicing, it will be carry forward to the next life. If because is because no everyone their own capacity to hold it. Maybe because of my no past preconditioning, past karmas, I am no arrange this situation. So let me continue. I unable to no do the temple services, any other services. Even the Gurudev Guru Mata came to India. I could not no attend to meet them. So that is my condition. And yes, Mataji, I have the questions no how because I know that I'm not doing proper chanting. So what no whenever I'm thinking that I will first complete the rounds at that time no offering the boga no preparing bhoga. So same time I cannot chant. So, and then while preparing, preparing bhoga, then it would be around 6:30. Then 6:30, 7:10, I have college, so I have rushed to classes again. In during the break time, I used to complete at night whatever the remaining is there. That I after come back from university, then I used to continue. So then, any Mataji, please can you guide anything which I can do proper chanting?
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for your question. Practically, every one of us has some struggle in our spiritual life, in our chanting or in some other things. So, all I can remember, first thing that when it comes to chanting, first thing that I can remember is that of Guru Mata. So, we chant minimum 16. Guru Mata chants, as far as I know, more than 16, probably 32 rounds every day. And of course, now Shri Radha Damodar are in Vrindavan. Otherwise, earlier she used to complete her chanting first complete her chanting, and then do deity worship Mangalarti dressing and everything. And then next, lunch, bhoga preparation, garlands. So practically single-handedly, and of course Srila Gurudev, Guru Mata, both of them, especially Guru Mata, had so many services to do that they wouldn't get more than once I remember they slept at around 11 o'clock and maybe woke up at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, something like that. So practically 3 hours or something they take rest. I mean, so um, when we are struggling in our chanting, first thing that Gurudev also most of the time gives advice is to wake up early and chant. Now, wake up early means for someone 4 o'clock is very early, for someone 3 o'clock is very early, but whatever it may be, if we are determined that okay, I must improve, then we will be able to wake up early. Somehow we have to be determined. We keep an alarm or do whatever possible, and try to get up little early, and then after a few days make it little earlier, in some set up some time that okay, if I wake up at 3 o'clock and then 3 to 5 I can do 2 hours, okay, I can complete my rounds, and then I'll go for other activities. So that's the best thing. And Guru Mata specifically says that Japa Yagya, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, among the Yagyas, I am Japa Yagya. So Japa is like a Yagya, and generally, I don't know in Kali Yuga what they practice, but as per scriptures, when you are sitting in a yagya, you don't get up in the middle to eat or to roam around or to do anything. We finish the yagya and then get up from that seat. Similarly, when we do our minimum 16 rounds, we should do it with full focus without giving attention to anything else. So we have to plan our schedule in a way that we can get that time to do our japa, and that should be the first priority of the day. And then another thing that Guru Mata gives to focus on japa is Her Grace mentions that breathing, even Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna mentions also, breathing actually helps to control the mind, no, the breathing process and all. So Guru Mata gives this advice or gives this tip, what we can say. We inhale to focus on japa. We inhale, take a deep breath, and then chant as many rounds as you can. No, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Like that, as many rounds as you can. So when you are chanting, you have exhaled your breath, and then take a deep breath again, and again chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Hare. So your mind is focusing on hearing. Your mind should be focusing on hearing and on this breathing that you are, inhale and then chant, inhale and that. So it helps to control the mind. And I have also heard from many of our siblings and many devotees that when they try to follow these tips given by Guru Mata, it works for them. And even I also apply many times, because my mind goes very much frequently here and there. So I try to apply this and it really works. So this is one thing that you can try. And plan plan your day in such a way, make a schedule that you can complete your, even if you have to start cooking at 5 o'clock or 5:30, 6 o'clock, at least maximum rounds you can complete before your other activities. If you can complete minimum 16, it's best. Otherwise, at least maximum you can complete, and then you can make your time in between to do. But the best thing that they say is like before, as they always do before Mangal Aarti. Mangal Aarti is 4:30, and before Mangal Aarti, if one completes the round, then there is no distractions. So that's what they advise. So I'm not saying I'm perfect in executing, putting that into practice, but even I'm working on it, and the same thing I'm just repeating what I have heard from them and what I am trying to implement as well. So maybe you can try these few things, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. I'll definitely try, Mataji. And one more thing, Mataji, if the time permit, can I ask one more thing? Mm,
I
or,
am not sure.
Prabhu,
Sadhguju.
Mataji, maybe if there are also many new devotees that come join, so if they have
yes,
any
yes,
questions, yeah.
yes,
So
yes, Prabhu. I'm waiting for if anyone others questions, then
yeah.
first let them.
So Tapos Prabhu or Saurabh Prabhu, Atanu Prabhu, or have any questions? So please free ask to Mataji. Or
Hare Krishna Mataji. This is a very nice explanation of the Prabhupada's journey to the West. Just only one point I want to add to what you have said. Prabhupada actually, where he was actually in the matchless gifts in the New York, he used to cook very well and serve the prasadam to the devotees. The most of the hippies, they used to come only for prasadam, not for hearing the Prabhupada lectures. And they were so much intoxicated to that used to come regularly. They didn't used to miss a single lecture. And by the way, within a few months, they all became all Krishna conscious and devotees. And they actually propagated Prabhupada's this whole this one movement actually. That wants to add. And the one question just I want to ask you, what happens? Many of us actually stay in the remote places. Uh, how to actually maintain that the same energy of the devotion and chanting, doing it regularly? Because what happens when the devotees are around you, you actually get a lot of boost for that, and you do it together, we discuss together. So staying in a remote where there are no devotees around, we face some of inconsistency in our chanting and also some devotion also. So how to overcome this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the point that you mentioned. Yes, Srila Prabhupada used to practically do everything, cook and even clean the dishes at the end, because the hippies that they used to come, or in the very beginning, they would have prasadam and Prabhupada would serve them also. Practically, I have heard Gurudev mentioning sometimes they would take even 10, 20 chapatis and, ISKCON bullets, the gulab jamuns. So practically, Sri Prabhupada used to do A to Z everything. And as you mentioned, yes, they got that taste for prasadam also. And many devotees, even now, we see that they come in the beginning just for prasadam, and they are unaware of when they were actually so much captivated by the prasadam, and that they started taking up the process, chanting, and ultimately become devotees. So very nice point, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for reminding all of us about the importance of prasadam as well, as especially that Srila Prabhupada used to do in the very beginning, cook and everything, used to serve also. And coming to your question, yes, when we are in association of devotees, it becomes easy for us to practice Krishna consciousness, because we are going with the flow, kind of. If we are down sometimes, by their association, we also can move ahead, be in pace with them. But when we are trying to do our bhakti alone, or somehow we are in a remote area, it becomes difficult somewhat. But nowadays we have this technology, online japa sessions are there, online classes are there, online there are Prabhupada lectures, Prabhupada's books. I can say from my own experience, in the very beginning, first 3 years, I had practically no physical association of devotees, because I was a student that time. And the only association I had was I was connected to the Ultimate Self-Realization course, which is run by my spiritual master, His Grace Sriman Sankarshan Das Adhikari Maharaj. And I used to ask questions. He has an email ID and one can write to him and he personally answers you back. And then I was connected online with one of his very advanced, very senior disciple, his Great Shriman Mahabhagavat Prabhu as well. And apart from that, there are these book clubs, SDA students, there are book clubs. And I used to participate in them, these small books which we are doing classes right now. So that time we used to have, we would, the moderator, the devotee will give, some specific devotee will give, okay, these many pages we have to read, and then there'll be some questions. And there were a group of members in that particular group, and we would answer those questions and discuss on emails. And that really helped me to, and I would also see, when Gurudev would be replying to me, he would mention about, or even in the thought for the day, he would give importance to reading Srila Prabhupada's books. And I was very much interested in studying books actually. So I could take up Srila Prabhupada by mercy. I could take up reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and it really helped me to lay that foundation in Krishna consciousness, because even I was never aware of what is ISKCON, what is this Hare Krishna movement and all. I did not know anything. It just because of Gurudev's thought for the day, emails, and being introduced to these book clubs, I was able to understand what is ISKCON, what is Krishna, what does Krishna consciousness mean, and Bhagavad Gita philosophy and the small books. Who is Srila Prabhupada, and what does ISKCON stand for? Like the basic philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Everything I got to know from Srila Prabhupada's books and the discussions we used to have online. So that was my only association in the very beginning. And of course, Srila Prabhupada's lectures. It really helps, if I would say, because studying and hearing really helps a lot. Because when we are working or when we are doing something, we see people around us, they will be hearing music. When we are working on the laptop in IT companies, if somebody is working, they are hearing music or something like that. And we can hear kirtans unless we are doing something very critical. We can hear kirtans, or we can murmur Hare Krishna, some tunes, things like that. Somehow or other, we have to keep our, that example of lotus. Lotus is, it is on that, damp, that kind of a place. But it seems to be a dirty place, but lotus is always, is not affected by the dirt. Another example is the lotus leaf. The water, when it falls in the lotus leaf, it glides down. It doesn't. So in the similar way, even if we are in this material world, in not very good association, in not having devotee association and all that, but still we have to maintain our Krishna consciousness in a way that we can influence others and not that others can influence us. How is it possible? First of all, we can um, um, uh, maintain our minimum. It is difficult in the beginning, but if we get used to it, then we can do it. No, chanting, hearing, and reading. So hearing we can do anytime. Hearing Srila Prabhupada's lectures, specifically Srila Prabhupada's lectures, and if one has spiritual master's lectures. It really helps. It really helps, because if somebody is when we are sleeping, when the alarm rings, we wake up. So by hearing, we are waking up. Similarly, we are in deep sleep in on the lap of Maya. Huh? Jeev jago, Gaur Chandra bole. There is a kirtan like that. There is a bhajan like that. So we are in deep sleep, and when those transcendental sound vibrations in the form of the sound vibrations of Srila Prabhupada or the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, something we are hearing, transcendental vibrations, it can be lectures or kirtans or whatever, it really helps. And no, the pure the sound vibrations are. That's why in the very beginning, when I was very new to Krishna consciousness, I always would stick to hearing from, I mean, I was introduced to Krishna consciousness by Gurudev actually. So I was hearing him and Srila Prabhupada. So when we hear from Srila Prabhupada, from such pure devotees, it really works. You know, it gives us that spiritual strength. And if we have that spiritual strength, then even if we are not having physical association of devotees, still we can continue our Krishna consciousness. And just imagine in the very beginning when Srila Prabhupada sent his disciples to different parts of the world. No single disciple would go to a particular place sometime, and they would have to I mean, some disciple went to Germany or some place, I don't remember, and he wrote to Srila Prabhupada that I'm finding it very difficult. I'm missing your association. I'm all alone and all. So Srila Prabhupada mentions, you just remember my instructions, and then I am with you, and your god brothers are also with you. Something like that. So when we are remembering the instructions of Srila Prabhupada or reading his books, when we read his books, we are actually associating with Srila Prabhupada. When we are reading, no, I'm just saying, a Krishna conscious person does not make any distinction between species or caste. So Srila Prabhupada is actually telling this to us, no, in this form of books. So Srila Prabhupada, the Vaishnava, actually he's present in his books. Srila Prabhupada is present in his books. So Srila Prabhupada once said, I will never die. Of course, he's a pure devotee, and we can see in the form of his books, he's actually speaking to us. So whatever possible, whatever feel in whatever, if you are very much interested in reading, if you're very much interested in hearing, you can put more time, give more time to that. You know, you can hear more lectures or something, you can read. And of course, we have this technology, as we are having these some sessions, or yeah, you know, japa sessions. You can join those sessions also, then you can get some association online as well. And sometimes we may feel very down, and then if you have a good friend, Krishna conscious friend or a mentor, then you can just message them and ask if they have free time, you want to speak or something, or speak to them. And we need a guide in our Krishna consciousness. We all must have. In the very beginning, there were devotees who helped me a lot. There was one Mataji who helped me make my daily schedule. There was somebody who was helping me in something. We need guidance. So we need to have someone to whom we can reveal our heart to, what problems we have and how we get solution. No, that personal touch we must have. And of course, I could get that guidance in the very beginning from Gurudev, because I would have so many things, so many questions. I write to him and he would answer me back in 1 or 2 days. And that was really, I was feeling that I am no one and he's giving so much time to me. You know, he's traveling all over the world, preaching to so many. And I am insignificant being. I'm just very new to Krishna, and I'm asking some silly questions and he's answering me all those questions. So, I mean, that really gave that personal touch in my case. So I hope it helps, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Lot of things I got to know. I think it will help me out.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
thank you, Mataji, for the wonderful class and also for your wonderful question and answer sessions. And I also want to thank all the devotees also to join today and sacrifice their valuable time to hear Krishna Katha. So we will now end here.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for inviting me here. Though I'm not very qualified, and I know you are preaching so nicely in IITs and all, and you're so exalted and all. I was speaking in front of you all. I mean, I'm very insignificant, but yeah, thank you for tolerating me. Hare Krishna.
Mantakantapurubhyascha kripa sindubhayeva cha patitānām pāvanebhyo vaisnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaisnav vrindo ki jai. Namah
Jai,
Thakur ki jai.
Jai, Hare Krishna.